Hello, my name is Jennifer Wilson, and I'm with the Gulfport School District. And today we're going to talk about fourth grade standard RL.4.7, which is making connections between the text of a story or drama in a visual or oral presentation. Let's get started. All right, so connections between text and visual and oral multimedia presentations. What does that mean? So what that means is literature can be presented in different ways. You can have books, which are your text, and visuals, which can be your movies or your plays, and then also your audio, which can be your podcasts or your audio recordings. All right, so the first thing, when you have a text, a lot of times with a text, you're going to see something in there that could be like an illustration. And what an illustration does is it connects the words of the text. You see a visual, you have something to look at, and you can get an idea of what the character might look like that isn't necessarily said in the text. So illustrations often add those details that maybe we can't necessarily visualize as we're reading the story. And it might also provide clarification about something that is going on in the story. Also, we can see the setting, and we can add to that character development. So when we're talking about character traits, maybe we can see something that the character has on or what the character is doing. Also, it just helps us understand more about what is happening in the text. So that is what those illustrations are there for. Okay, so the next thing is those oral stories, those sounds that we hear. You might hear it in a podcast, or you might hear someone actually reading the story to you live. But that's what an oral story is. It's a storyteller. Oftentimes when you have a storyteller, they use sound elements or they use some kind of audio to enhance the author's words. It might be in the way that they sound out something, the way they inflect with the words that they use. So what these sounds can do to a story is they can create a mood or a tone of the story. Also, they add to the setting. Maybe if they're outside, you hear the birds chirping, you hear background noises that add to what is happening. And the sounds just add to character development. Maybe if the character is very mad, or if they're very happy about something, they might do something, make some sound that lets you know that they're in a good or a bad mood. And it just also deepens that understanding so we can figure out what is happening in the story. And the next thing is films. For instance, I have this book, Because of Winn-Dixie. This is the text. There are some illustrations in here, but this has also been made into a movie. So oftentimes in the film, you might see things that you didn't necessarily see in the book, but it kind of brings the book to life. You can see it a little bit better, and oftentimes they will add different things to the book that weren't in there to begin with, just to make the story a little bit more interesting. So films can include the visual, the audio, and the text elements that can connect with the story and make the original text better. So we can actually see the mood, we can see the tone of the character. We're able to see the setting. The setting might be a little bit different, or if you've read a story and you didn't quite understand the setting, maybe you can see it a little bit more in the movie. And it also adds to character development. We get to see the character actually performing in this particular film. And it just helps us understand more about the story. So these are different ways that we can connect the text. We can watch movies, we can listen to those podcasts, or we can watch the text that has been taken and put into a play form or drama. So we can see all those different things so we can understand what the text is about.